How many of you guys remember this? Oh yeah, today we're going to be talking about Omi's top 10 Megadrive Sega Genesis games of all time. For this video, I did my best to have at least one sports game represented in the top 10. There is one exception in my list. I do have two basketball games represented in the top 10. After I show you my list, I hope you guys will understand why they were both included, but without further ado, let's get started with Omi's top 10 Sega Genesis Megadrive sports games of all time. For this video, I won't be covering any tennis games because I didn't really play tennis games growing up for the Sega Genesis. I will also not cover any golf games, even though they're fantastic. I didn't really play them growing up. So let me know on your suggestions, which one should I play? But yeah, as you can tell, I'm not very good at them.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
How many of you guys remember that? Coming in at number 10, FIFA International Soccer. I have very fond memories of this game. Gosh, I'm gonna go ahead and pick England. I'm gonna pick the UK, England. Yeah, I remember. I just have so many fond memories of it. But how does it actually hold up? I'll let you know in a second. Right now, I did pick it in my. Okay, I lost, so I don't even know what that means. I'm not like I don't play soccer. I don't know much about soccer. And we're gonna find out how it actually plays. It is very quirky, I will say that. The controls are, I wouldn't call them stiff. It's just that it takes some getting used to, you know, like, it's like, they're very quirky. They're kind of like, I wouldn't call them stiff. It's just like, it kind of has a mind of its own as far as the animations and what it wants to do. They almost scored off me. I can't let that happen. It's a very quirky game, but once you understand the gameplay mechanics, this game is so much fun. And I think that's why it comes alive, is because it's not easy by any means. It's not easy. And penetrating through their defense is a challenge. But once you get used to the quirks, this game comes alive. It's a lot of fun. And I would say that, yes, absolutely, it holds the test of time. Simply because what it does well. And it has fantastic animations, good gameplay. It is quirky. It's going to take some getting used to. But once you get used to it, it actually holds up. Coming in at number 9 is a game that I think is kind of overlooked. But one thing we can all agree upon is how legendary this game is. How it really pioneered, you know, our transition from going from like, you know, 16, 32 bits into the polygon era. This game actually has what they call the SVP chip, which allowed it to, you know, output these kind of graphics. The Genesis natively can't output these graphics. And I know by today's standards, a lot of us will laugh at that and say, wow, these graphics are absolutely horrible. But at the time, you know, the Sega Genesis was really pushing the limit. You know, with the help of this SVP chip, it was giving us more like polygonal graphics. And it was definitely a step in the right direction. But how does it hold up? How's the gameplay? How are the controls? Believe it or not, even though this game is somewhat of a pixelated mess in today's standards, man, it is not a mess when it comes to just feel. Controls and gameplay is so fun. It's actually fun. Yes, it is a little bit of a pixelated mess in today's standards, but you know what? You know, you can't negate the fact that this game, you know, the role that it has in gaming history, and not only that, but it actually holds up. It's pretty fun if you can get past the, you know, the not so good graphics. But gameplay, guys, this is fantastic. It is number 9 for a reason. I do prefer the 32X version, which is actually one of the best 32X games that came out in that library, which is not saying much, but it still is saying something. Nevertheless, guys, this game comes in at number 9. Virtual Racing, Sega Genesis, does in fact hold up. Taking the 8th spot is in fact a Capcom game, and one of my favorites, if not my favorite wrestling game in the whole library of the Sega Genesis. It is known as a Saturday Night Slam Masters. Now, what's cool about this game is that it kind of has different wrestling, you know, I guess companies rolled into one. It's basically like a worldwide wrestling of different wrestlers from all over the world, and you get to go at it. I'm gonna pick this guy Stinger, I guess that's his name, 5'6". I'm gonna pick him. We're gonna wrestle in Los Angeles, which is I'm only about 40 miles away from there. So this is like my hometown here. I wonder if I'm going to get the hometown discount. I doubt it. I'm going to have my hands full here. But I love the animations going into the ring. So cool. This is based upon an arcade game, and they did a remarkable job considering the limitations of the Genesis when it comes to the color palette and just, you know, the sprites overall. It's not going to be as big and colorful as the arcade game, but how does it hold up when it comes to the game? Oh, look at that! I would say very, very good. You know? Look at that. Oh, shoot. Okay. Now, I think, yeah, you could do like this tornado kick. And it's been a while. I'm definitely going to be stiff when it comes to this gameplay. I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember that this game is, you know, in my top 10 for a reason, you know. With a little bit of practice, I can get really good at it. But as of now, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with Saturday Night Slam Master. Let's see if I can get the W here against this guy here. He's like a barbarian. Oh, gosh. See, I did it not long ago. I actually did a pin. Oh, wow. Look at that. Pin him. 1, 2, 3. This game is remarkable. One of the setbacks, though, I will say, is that I think in the arcade game, you can play like 2 players or something like that. This one's only a 1-player game. That is one of the setbacks. But nevertheless, it's pretty faithful to the arcade game. I love it. That's why it comes in at number 8. Taking the 7th spot is a game that I absolutely love. To this day, I still love it. Bulls versus Lakers. Now, you might think that I'm trolling you when I say that, because I know a lot of people probably don't really have fond memories of it. But I'm here to tell you that it actually holds up pretty well. I mean, number one, you have these historic franchises like, you know, MJ, you know, and Magic Johnson. They're part of the roster, which I think is awesome. It's like a time capsule. And I've heard, like I said, different YouTubers kind of criticize it because it does play a little bit on the slow side, which it does. But actually, depending on the player that you're playing as, they're quicker. Like this guy actually runs quicker than like Bloody Divock. I'm not sure what player that is. 3-pointer, I couldn't get it. Or what I like to do, a strategy, is I like to get in front of the player. And that's what I do for defense, man. I am getting worked on right now. 4-0 Bulls. You know, growing up, I was a Lakers fan. I still love the Lakers. That's a big game, James, right there. James Worthy, Bloody Divock. You see, Bloody Divock's slower than other players. Let's see if I can make this right there. Come on. Yes, good job. Number 14, I think that's Sam Perkins, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, what I'm saying is this game is very quirky, and you have to understand, similar to the soccer game that I mentioned earlier, FIFA Soccer, once you understand to go around the quirks, this game comes alive. And despite the fact that it is a little bit on the slow side, there's Magic Johnson. Let's see if I can make this 3 right here in your face. Yes, I did. And once you do that, this game absolutely comes alive. And I'm telling you, this game is a lot of fun. For me, it is my favorite basketball game. Not just nostalgia, but once you understand, you know, the quirkiness, you're going to have a ton of fun. For the number 6 spot, it is going to be John Madden representing football. The question is, which one? There's a lot of great ones, right? 95, 98. I'm going to go with Championship Edition. 93 in general is my favorite. I do love John Madden 93. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. And in general, it's just a really good, fun Genesis sports games. And it really shows you why Genesis had such great, memorable, to this day fun sports game. Now, I'm going to go with what? Heads. So one of the differences between this game, the Gold Edition, versus just the standard 93 Madden, is that this game has historic franchises. So like all-time great teams, which I kind of overlooked. I didn't show you guys in detail, but trust me, it has them. And like I said, this game does have a demanding asking price nowadays. It's pretty expensive. You guys can look it up and get back to me as far as how expensive it is. But yeah, you know, in general, 93, I don't know. I know that nostalgia for sure is a factor of why I like this game so much. But I'm telling you, it's not just nostalgia. It's this game is incredibly simple. You know, it's not complicated at all. You only have like so many plays to pick, and it's just pick up and play fun. So I made my selection. I'm gonna change my player. I remember doing that a lot when I was a kid, and try to prevent obviously the offense from going off on me. Oh, nice pass. I mean, it's been a long time since I played this, but trust me, this game, even to this day, holds up. A lot of fun. Play it with the neighbor, play it with the friend, play it with the relative. It won't let you down. That's why this game, John Madden 93, comes in at number 6. In the 5th spot is a game that I absolutely love. Road Rash 3. Now, it was difficult deciding which one was my favorite, but I can honestly tell you that part 3 is my favorite. And part of that because it has such a killer soundtrack. Not only that, but I feel like the graphics are enhanced over part 1 and part 2. I feel like part 1 and part 2, they're almost the same game. Maybe part 2 is like a DLC. I think this game is the total package though. I feel like not only are the controls fairly responsive, but I do like the bigger character models and sprites in part 3 over 2. And you're trying to come in first place by any means necessary, which isn't the greatest. It isn't the best message for like a little kid, but man, I feel like a little kid when I play this, because this game, despite the fact that it's only running at like 15 frames per second, that doesn't matter. It's so much fun, and what I love about it is just how the road is so twisty and twirly and going left to right, and it's going up and down. And you're trying to watch out for oncoming traffic because they can just kill you, right? They can not kill you, but they're going to hurt you like that. See, look at that. And I basically, somebody got ran over and I went over his motorcycle when I jumped. That was awesome. Yeah, this soundtrack is banging. Look how twisty and twirly these roads are, man. I love it. Not like I hate you. Okay, there it is. Well, yeah, you guys get the point. Road Rash 3, in my opinion, is my favorite, and I love Road Rash 3. I'm always gonna love it. That's why it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. Now, I have to admit, I just recently discovered this game. There is another one that's very similar to this game. It's The Greatest Heavyweights. That game is pretty good. The reason I like this one is that you have a career mode, so you get to like level him up the way you want to. I've been wanting to play Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing for the longest time. Like I said, it's very similar to The Greatest Heavyweights. You can go either way. Greatest Heavyweights is more like if you want the characters like all-time great fighters, you can select them right off the bat. This game is more like you have a career mode and you want to get eventually to Evander Holyfield. Oh man, you can't do that to Omi. Come on, Omi. But yeah, Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing, while it does, it takes a while to really get used to it, and I'm still getting used to it. Make no mistake about it, what is here is remarkable. Do I think it stands the test of time? Do I think you'll have fun with it today? 100%. You know, if you're looking for like a retro, really good boxing game, you can't go wrong with this one or Greatest Heavyweights. I do lean towards this one because I like the career mode, but you can't go wrong with either one. Coming in at number 3 is an all-time classic.
Oh my! He's on fire!
Yes, NBA Jam for the Sega Genesis is one of the greatest, not only Genesis games, one of the greatest sports games of all time. You know, what can I say about NBA Jam? It's kind of impressive that they can even have the voice samples, I will say that. I'm not sure how many megabytes this game took, but it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's a pretty good home port of a awesome all-time great arcade game. You know, this is a very impressive game. As far as gameplay, yes, it stands the test of time. Yes, I'm here to tell you that it's still fun to this day, especially in a time and age where games have become all about graphics and, you know, like super simulators. This game is nothing like that. Anyone can pick up and play NBA Jam, and it was as much fun back then as it is today. Let's see if I can get something going here. Okay. So yeah, like I said, this game is amazing. Look, if you press the B button here, your shoes light up, meaning that you're like in turbo mode and you're able to just go quicker. And this game, as it is, plays pretty quick, you know, as is. This game is just arcade fun. You know, you don't have to be the most knowledgeable about basketball. Anyone can pick up and play this jam. That's why NBA Jam, for that and much more, comes in at number 3. And my second favorite sports game of all time on the Sega Genesis is the infamous NHL Hockey 94. Retro gamers and everyone alike, you know, you know about this game. I want the Kings. I gotta pick my Kings. There we are. That's much more like it. What can I say about NHL 94? It's fantastic. It gives you that feel, that sports feel that you want. It's competitive. It's fun. It's a lot of fun with 2 players. But the reason I think it stood the test of time and why people have not only fond memories of it back then, but even now it stands the test of time, is because of its simplicity yet sophisticated gameplay. It's like it's both in one. It's a little bit of a simulator, but it's a ton of fun. it's a little bit of an arcade game as well. It's like, it's the total package. It really is. And when I was looking at some footage of like the latest NHL game, I couldn't believe that some of the DNA, I feel like it goes back to this, and with good reason. It's a combination of simulator with arcade action. It's like, it's just a ton of fun. And if you're looking for like one of the greatest sports games of all time, look no further than NHL 94. It won't let you down. Coming in at number 1 of my all-time favorite Sega Genesis / Megadrive sports game of all time is none other than World Series Baseball 98. So many different options, so many things you could do. You could play in the playoffs. You can change your roster right off the bat. You can have batting practice. You can have a home run derby. So many options here. It actually keeps track of your stats, which is amazing. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to get it going here. I'm going to pick the Atlanta Braves against the mighty Yankees. But why this game scores so high on my list? Number 1, I am biased. I played baseball up until college, so I love baseball, right? And this game always felt like a simulator. Honestly, it's a lot of fun, but it felt like the closest thing to the real thing back then. Amongst other things, is that this game was the first one of its kind in any baseball game to have that strike zone. It's something that we take for granted now. There it is, a base hit right up the middle. Beautiful start with it looks like Kenny Lofton, I think. But it actually showed you the square for the strike zone, which was very innovative. Even now, when you watch a baseball game on TV, you're gonna see the strike zone. But this game is awesome. It really does feel like a simulator. Let's see if I can get it this time. Slide, baby. There it is. Yes! Guys, I can't say enough good things about it. It keeps track of your stats. It's amazing. League leaders. You have the home run derby. The perspective. I've always loved the perspective. And also, there's a bit of strategy involved. In order to get a double play, you do have to... not that they can get a double play against me right now because they did steal the base. But you have to set that up. Otherwise, the game ain't going to do it for you. I love that about this game. It's like the closest thing to real baseball. World Series Baseball 98 is my favorite. I am a little bit biased because, again, baseball is my favorite sport. But you cannot negate the impact that it's had in the gaming industry. There you go. Come on, Lofton. It is still fun to this day. That's why World Series Baseball 98 is, in fact, my favorite sports game in the Sega Genesis library of all time. So there you have it. That is my top 10 Sega Genesis / Megadrive sports games of all time. Which games am I missing? Which games do you recommend I play? Because I haven't played everything on the Genesis library. Let me know in the comment section. If you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that sub button. Turn your notifications on, as I did recently hit 200 subs, and I do appreciate each and every one of you. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you absolutely on the next vid. Man, this game is awesome. It should have made my top 10. Outrun for the Sega Genesis. It's a classic.